Good question, Anuj. I think that's a brilliant question.
It'll be interesting. I mean, Gavin will have to select either his family life or the company. So let's see how he's going to select on the exam day.
Maybe there is a better product, there is a better substitute that the customers are switching into.
Hello everyone, we are going to analyze the CIMA operational case study pre-seen material for the August examination. And I'm starting with the page number 3 of our pre-seen, and we have company background. So they are discussing about the product design and development. So dear experts, how do you think we can relate this to our syllabus areas?
Okay, so on the page number 3, first paragraph, they tell us the company charge IT develop, design and manufacture codeless domestic electrical products. So I'm not going to explain what these codeless domestic electrical products are. That will be covered in our KYI. KYI stands for Know Your Industry. So you can go there. But my concentration is what we do. What are our key functions? 3 key functions have been listed here. Develop, design, manufacture. I think it should be other way around. I think we should design first, then develop and manufacture. We might argue otherwise as well. But my key point is these functions are entirely different to each other. Look at the function of manufacturing. That will include buying raw material, procurement part, storing, WIP, work in progress, finished goods. So what are the areas that will be applicable? IAS2 inventory will be applicable there. What are the controls that needs to begin? Inventory valuation, those controls will need to come in. So that is the manufacturing process. Look at the design process, entirely a different set of KPIs, where we need new designers to sit in a room, relax environment. They will have to look at the vacuum cleaners that we produce and see how can we make this vacuum cleaner more user-friendly. How can we make it smaller? How can we make it nicer? So 2 different functions that these guys need to manage in this company. This is my first thought.
Yeah, I think that is a very interesting point brought by Janna. Now, talking about develop, design and manufacturing, there are so many areas that are linked to E1 and P1 as well. Now, when we talk about, manufacturing, when it comes to the OTQs, you guys have already learned about lean manufacturing. You guys have learned about different types of production systems. You guys have learned about things like Kaizen and all these types of manufacturing systems. Now, I'm happy to tell you that we have considered and deeply investigated of different scenarios that can come up where this company charge IT might switch into different manufacturing systems. So maybe they could switch from what they are doing now to lean manufacturing. Maybe they could apply different types of production systems like Kaizen and so on and so forth, which is on continuous improvement, and all these types of manufacturing operations and applications are considered in our variants and the mock exams that we will be giving you guys. So I just want to bring that thought, and let's move on into the second paragraph and first line. It says the company was founded in 2011 and by Gavin. He's the owner. So basically Gavin is the MD, the managing director, and it's his wife Anthea, I hope I pronounced the name correctly, Anthea, who each hold 50% of the company. Now, one thing that comes to my mind is, Gavin is the managing director, and his wife, if you go down and if you look at the organizational structure, she is the sales and marketing director. Now, there might be some kind of awkwardness when it comes to board meetings, discussing areas that the finance and the marketing might have issues. As every one of us know, I mean, in most of the organization, marketing guys want to spend and they want to boost their promotions, advertising, you name it. But the finance guys want to curtail it, right? So when you have conflicts like that, I mean, how is Gavin going to respond? How is Anthea going to respond? Now, this would be an area of concern. Chan, what do you think about that?
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, Gavin will have to select either his family life or the company. So let's see how he's going to select on the exam day. Because a critical point, I mean, you being the finance director, how will you, of course, you being the finance director, your boss is finance director, you are in the finance function. You can go to the managing director and complain about sales and marketing director. That is normal. But in this case, you are going and complain to the managing director about managing director's wife. So it will be an interesting challenge for the finance professionals in this company on the exam day.
And another area that I might think which would create an interest is, they say in the second paragraph, last line, manufacturing was originally outsourced to a company in South Asia, but the decision was taken to bring the manufacturing operations to Eastland. Now, I think there might be several situations possible. I mean, they have outsourced, and if you look at the past papers, there have been many questions asked regarding what are the pros and cons of outsourcing. And I think that has been something that has been repeatedly asked. But from being outsourced, they are bringing operations back to Eastland. And I think there might be a situation where they might outsource it back again to a different country. Channa, what's your thoughts on that?
Absolutely, because we are in Northern Europe as for the first paragraph.
Yeah.
You got to look at what kind of factory that you have. If you have a factory with large number of employees, well, it will be better for you to go to China. It will be better for you to go to Africa and get the manufacturing done. But if you are running the factory with machines, less number of people, Northern Europe might be even worthwhile. So let's discuss that, which is coming in our mock number 3 of insourcing and outsourcing manufacturing. We will discuss with the mock number 3.
Just one question. So I can see in the paragraph 3 that the demand for the vacuum cleaners have gone down. So any possible reason for this?
Good question, Anuj. I think that's a brilliant question. Even I have noticed this, and I think you might get more insights on this once you come to the industry. And I think, as Channa sir clearly said, these areas are covered in detail in your KYI, Know Your Industry. But let me give you a quick snapshot here. Now, if you read it, it says the company's development was initially slow, but they have grown rapidly. But the overall market for vacuum cleaners, there is a contraction. So you see, there is a contraction. So I think there might be two reasons for this. So if the market for vacuum cleaners is going down, maybe there is a better product, there is a better substitute that the customers are switching into. I mean, that might be one possible reasons. Or there is a reduction in consumption due to a product feature. There might be a reduction in consumption. Or people do not like to use vacuum cleaners anymore, or there is because it's heavy, or because of some other reasons. And for this particular purpose, you should consider this as an opportunity so that you figure out where your weakness is and what's the reason for this overall market to shrink, and you develop your product in such a way so that it would boost your sales in the long run. So I think there are two sides for this, two areas that we need to concern. Whether the customers are switching into a better product, or is there a reduction in consumption. But that being said, if you really analyze the financial statements, you would see there is a drastic, substantial increase in the profits. And Chandu, what do you think about that?
Looking at the numbers, it's interesting. Okay. Simply because it says the sales revenue has increased by 32.4%. Profit before tax has increased by 59.4%. So the point is, don't forget, all the candidates who are doing the exam got to realize 32%, 32.4% increase in sales is substantial increase. 1/3 increase in sales. When a company tries to increase sales by 32%, if the net profit is also increased by 32%, your margins will remain the same. But here, profit before tax increased by 59%, which means the net profit margin must have gone up, profit before tax margin must have gone up from last year to this year. You can look at our financial review, then you realize profit before tax as a margin has gone up from 10 to 12%. So that's the beauty of it. Generally, when you grow sales by 1/3, you struggle to maintain the bottom line. When you grow sales by 1/3, you will have a lot of inefficiencies coming in. But our company, they were able to grow the profits by 1/3 and the margins by a higher percentage, maybe due to economies of scale. That's a great question on the exam day for mock papers. Just one more thing. In the paragraph number 3, it talks about research and development. In paragraph number 3, they talk about research and development. Intangible assets, IAS 38 is a critical accounting standard where they tell us what can be capitalized, what cannot be capitalized. So research is what is looking for new knowledge which needs to be charged to P&L, but the development cost can be capitalized based on certain conditions given. That is IAS 38. IAS 36 is the impairment of assets, which is an interesting accounting standard. We will discuss that soon when you join our course. Thank you very much.
Brilliant.